What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope all you're having a great day so far today. Um, Getting into this episode of GH, it was super funny. That whole scene with BLQ and Chase was fucking hilarious. When he was pounding on the door and his towel slipped, and BLQ was like, "Good morning, Detective Chase." The way she was eyeballing him, you could tell, like, okay, Detective Chase is a shower and not a grower, if you know what I mean. My thing was throughout their whole time in that steam room, I'm like, why the hell is BLQ still wearing this coat? Like, you are in a steam room. I know you are hot as hell in there, and you got this coat on. You still got your outfit on. You should have been stripping. I'm just saying. Like, I know it's hot as hell. Um, but I did like their scenes though because um I agree with Chase. You know, BLQ is so worried about what other people say about her and what they think about her. And at the end of the day, what other people think and say don't matter. You know, I know she's upset that people are talking shit about her because, you know, how she hurt Valentine or whatever. Valentine's a big boy. Yeah, I felt bad for him too, but he's a big boy who has done his fair share of dirt to people over the years. So it is what it is. Um, But as long as she knows the truth and Chase knows the truth and Maxie knows the truth, if all these people know the truth about what she's really doing, it shouldn't matter what other people think. You know what I'm saying? As long as you know the real reason. You know, when the truth does come out, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are probably gonna be kissing her ass and apologizing to her because they're gonna see, you know, what sacrifices she made to make sure that that little girl was safe and sound. And even Chase was impressed with her and what she's doing. Um, he was very impressed. And I was happy when they were about to kiss until that damn janitor came up in there. I was like, why you gotta ruin the moment? They were about to lip lock and possibly do something else up in there. And you know Chase was on the ready. So why is this man coming up in here interrupting? I said, damn. Talk about bad timing. But I'm feeling Chase and BLQ. I really am. It is so hard for me to talk right now because I feel like I'm losing my voice because my voice sounds different to me when I hear myself talk. It sounds very different. Um, I just been coughing up a lung all day today. So I'm trying to still get over this cold right now, but I'm getting there. I got my cough drops over there, so I'm about to be chewing on those like they're a pack of M&Ms or something because I got to get my voice back right. So bear with me. Bear with me. I'm getting there. So anyway, moving on from that, I thoroughly enjoyed Finn and Elizabeth's conversation. I'm glad that they finally had a conversation. Um, I'm glad that they talked because at the end of the day, Elizabeth wants to take things slow with him, and I totally get it because they want to make sure that their friendship, you know, is top priority because they both enjoy each other's company, their friendship, and she doesn't want to mess that up. He doesn't want to mess that up. You know what I mean? But he let her know, like, listen, even if we get together and things don't work out, you're not getting rid of me that easily. And I love that he's not pushing her into a relationship because he knows everything she went through. You know, she just lost her husband this year. And you know, she's trying to get over that. You know what I mean? But there's no time limit on grief, you know? So Elizabeth definitely should take her time with this, you know, because she got three boys to think about. Finn has Violet to think about, you know, and this is a confusing situation for all of them. So I'm glad that they're taking baby steps into getting it. Even though some people say their relationship or potential relationship seems forced, maybe it is. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that they're not rushing into that whole dating thing. You know, they're just seeing where things go. And, you know, they're not labeling what they are or whatever. For right now, they're just still friends. And I like it. You know, Elizabeth should definitely not rush to jump into a relationship because when her and Finn do get in a relationship, she wants to take things, you know, she wants it to be serious. She doesn't want it to be casual. And I respect it. And I'm glad they had that conversation because sometimes, you know, you really need to have that. Um, that whole situation, let me tell you something with Olivia was definitely gassing Carly up. Like, Olivia was basically like Carly's little puppet. about the whole Nina situation. But I do agree with Olivia though. I feel like Carly should not keep her emotions bottled up, because I do agree when you do that and you suppress how you feel, when it comes out, like when somebody really push your buttons and you got all that frustration, pent up frustration, it's gonna come out in the worst way. Like once Carly let loose, who's gonna stop her? You know what I mean? That's why it's not good to bottle all that shit up, and it's not, you know. But I got a feeling Carly is gonna rage at Nina, because we all know Nina ain't going to prison. She definitely not. So Carly could be happy about this trial coming up all she want. Nina ain't going nowhere. And these charges against her are bogus anyway. They're trumped up charges. And I got a feeling that what happened in Nixon Falls between Sonny and Nina just might come out at the trial. You know, you get the right person on the witness stand, you ask the right questions, that shit might just come out. And we all know Carly gonna be heated when that happens. So anyway, moving on from that, I am super sad for Brando and Sasha. I really am. I'm sad for those characters because I couldn't imagine going through no shit like this in real life. Like in real life, I couldn't imagine it. So on the show, it's like you got to play up these emotions and stuff. I know it's probably kind of hard for them because I don't think they went through something like this in real life. So it's like you got to just come up with these emotions on the fly, or, you know, tap into them somehow. And I know it's difficult to do. Um, but I felt bad for Sasha. Sasha did not want to let her child go. And I knew she knew what Brando was hinting at when he was like, we need to make decisions and make the right decision for our son. She knew what he wanted to do. She knew, and she wasn't ready to make that decision. She didn't want to. She felt like as long as their son was alive and breathing, even though he's not breathing on his own, but he's still alive. So to her, she was not about to let that go. Because at the end of the day, she felt like Brando got family. He got his mother, he got Sonny, Carly, he got all these people. She doesn't have anybody. You know, she feels like she doesn't have family. And Liam is the only blood related family she has. You know, and she doesn't want to let that go. And I totally felt that. I understood her on that. So she just wanted to be with her kid. Gladys was kind of pissing me off a little bit because I understand Brando's her son and she sticks up for him or whatever. But her coming at Sasha, like when she was with Brando and Nina and stuff like that and Sonny, it annoyed me how she was like, oh, Sasha needs to support Brando. Gladys, now is not the time. Now is not the time. Like, that woman is going through a lot. Yes, Brando is going through it as well because that's his son too. But she's losing her firstborn child. You know, a child that she carried for 9 months. You know, that she pretty much bonded with throughout those 9 months. So Gladys really needs to be more understanding of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a stressful situation for all of them. You know, it's stressful for the parents. It's stressful for Gladys because that was her grandson. You know what I mean? But she just needs to tone it down a bit. Like, stop with all that. I did like Sasha's scenes with Sonny and stuff like that. I understand why Sonny compared her situation to his with Mike, because at the end of the day, the whole point was you have to make a decision that's best for the person you love. You know what I'm saying? It may be a decision you don't want to make, but you got to make the right decision. You know, what's best for that person. So I understand why he compared the two, even though I felt like it was two totally, completely different scenarios. He still had to make a decision. You know, because he could have left Mike on a feeding tube and stuff like that to prolong him, but he felt like, no, that's not good for my dad. And that's what Sasha and Brando need to do. They need to make a decision because they can keep him alive, but he's not going to have the best quality of life. He's going to be in a machine the rest of his life, you know, and that's not really good. You know, that's not living. I think the selfish decision would be to put him in a facility and just keep him on machines so y'all can visit him every day. I think that would be the selfish thing to do. This is my personal opinion. I just feel like it would be selfish. I sympathize with them, but at the end of the day, you got to think about the child. You know, you got to think about him and what's best for him. And I understand it's hard for her to let that go. I totally get it. Even Brando, you know, he was talking to Nina and stuff, and he was wondering if, you know, their son could survive and, you know, wake up and stuff like Nina woke up from her coma. But I agree with Nina. Her situation, again, it was different. She was breathing on her own. She didn't need tubes and stuff like that to live. This child is going to be on monitors for the rest of his life. There is no miracle that's going to happen for him, unfortunately. I know that that's what they're hoping for, but I don't see it. I mean, what miracle are you going to get? So as much as it pains them to make this decision, the decision, you know, they just gonna have to say their goodbyes and let them go. As hard as that is, you know, sometimes you have to make those tough decisions. It ain't easy, but it has to be done. You know, unfortunately, I wish that things for the characters could have turned out different, but you know, maybe down the road they'll have another child, and you know, it'll be different. You know, I'm not saying that they should replace one child with another. Of course not. You could never do that. But I think one day, you know, Sasha will have another kid one day, you know, and that want to be healthy and, you know, she could do all the things with that child that she didn't get an opportunity to do with Liam, you know, God willing. But I feel bad for them. Of course, you know, Sonny and Nina was talking and stuff like that. Um, and just as they were talking, here come Carly and Olivia walking up, and Carly was looking pissed. She was looking very annoyed. Like she did not want Nina around her husband. I'm like, Sonny need to nip this shit in the bud. He do. He need to nip it in the bud. He need to stay away from that woman. So anyway, moving on from that, I totally get where, you know, Curtis is coming from. I know he's upset at Marshall, and TJ feels like, you know, he's a grown man, so he should be able to bond with his grandfather and get to know him. Normally, I would agree with that. But I had to agree with Curtis on this one. I feel like TJ needs to fall back from Marshall until they find out what dangers Marshall was talking about in the beginning, because he kept saying he had to fake his death or leave or whatever because it was dangerous and the danger is still around. So for TJ's sake, I think it's best that he just let Curtis, you know, find out what the danger was before he gets too close to this man, because you don't want to be collateral damage, you know. And there's no way in hell Curtis is gonna let anything happen to TJ. Ain't no way, not on his watch. So I think it's smart that Curtis wants to investigate this. You know what I mean? Because Marshall is not being forthcoming about the danger. He's not saying what it was, who's the players and all this. He's not saying nothing. And, you know, all he's worried about is, well, that was the past. Let's move on and rebuild for the future or whatever. How you going to rebuild for the future when you claim that things are still a bit dangerous for you? If they're still a bit dangerous for you, then that means there is no future right now, because the danger could come to Port Charles and take all of y'all out, you know? And I agree with Curtis. Like I said, I mean, until this man is ready to talk or I find out what the danger was, we're not having no communication with him. And I'm not mad at that. I totally agree. Shit, you ain't about to get me caught up in your mess. I want to know what the mess is before I say hi. You know what I mean? Like, before I call you Pops or Grandpop, I want to know what kind of bullshit you got everybody into that you had to hide out for 40 years. I need to know this. You ain't about to waltz up in here like Johnny come lately and think that you about to have a future with all of us and there could be a sniper on all of our heads right about now. No, absolutely not. Aunt Stella knows something. And I'm curious, and I want to know what she know, how much of it she know. Because she was not angry at Marshall at all for abandoning the family for 40 years. And that's something usually she would have been mad about. So the fact that she's not mad tells me she knows something. And she ended up messaging him or whatever to meet up with her. So they met up at the coffee spot. And she was like, oh, let's put all our cards on the table. Yeah, let's. Because I want to know what you know. Because she don't seem mad at all. So what does she know and how much? I need to know this. Because she ain't telling somebody something. So anyway, moving on from that. You know, I like the little friendship that's brewing between Alexis and Harmony. I hope they start a new friendship, but I hope that the writers don't forget about her friendship with Diane, because they've been friends for years, over a decade. So hopefully they can, you know, keep that in mind. Um, I understand why Alexis pretty much told Harmony, yeah, you know, she did invite her to the house, but then she thought about it and remembered Christina was there and was like, nah, you know what? On second thought, maybe it shouldn't come by the house because Christina's there, you know, there might be drama, and she was trying to avoid that. So I totally understand. And I'm glad Harmony understood. You know, I feel bad for Harmony a bit because yeah, she did wrong with the DOD mess and working with Cyrus and stuff, but she was being blackmailed on that one. But you know, she really I could respect somebody who owns up to their shit and take responsibility and try to move on with their life in a positive direction. I could respect that, and I would say give her another chance. I understand where Alexis is coming from, though, about getting out of prison, you know, taking the easy way out. I get it, but she didn't do anything that most people wouldn't do. Anybody in prison who gets an opportunity to get out early, they're gonna take it. I know I would. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I would take that opportunity. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna say no. Who doesn't want to get out of prison? Because at the end of the day, you know, you can do good on the outside, you know? And it makes up for, you know, to help make up for some of the bullshit that you did to get put in, you know, in prison in the first place. You know, it's a step toward making things right. So I wouldn't feel bad about it, not at all. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you guys thought about it, and I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.